FC Cincinnati yellow card issued at the 7th minute of the clock.
as an assistant, 2 years was in charge of Vancouver Whitecaps too. It felt really he had accomplished all he could accomplish with the franchise. Came to FC Cincinnati as an assistant behind John Harkes. In preseason, Harkes moving on. Koch taking over the head coaching role. Some early stumbles, but this U.S. Open Cup magic is certainly buoyed. What was at times a strugglesome start to the season as he really tried to figure out the positives and the negatives of every player where he puts them. Wiedemann, Josu, edge of the area, cuts it through, and McCandawary slid in. A corner coming for FC Cincinnati.
Way too much in the space for Tampa Bay Rowdies. Cincinnati is able to create with Wiedemann getting on the ball, finding Josu out wide. But that entry ball into the midfield third was uncontested and too easy. A good diving save by McCandawary.
Kenny Walker, they've asked him to adapt a lot. Right now he'll take the corner. Collins, the big defender. Koenig, the big scorer for Cincinnati. No surprise that that's the mark. Walker drives the cross. It's just over the bar. A lunging Pickens couldn't get there. And it was headed over by his own teammate. Another corner. Austin Berry was the target the first time around. Probably want another ball just like that. Walker, opposite post. Berry again, the target. McCandawary away from Nicholson. Cole. Savage, met by Halfhill. Got out of play. So it belongs to Zach Portillo. Stakers has been all over the place early.
He has. Cincinnati seems to prefer to attack down this right-hand side at the moment, perhaps because there's that gap in that midfield right behind the front line. And Portillo's getting a little bit too high up the pitch means that there's that space to create.
Off the head of Berry. Quinn slices a ball up the right-hand side. Wiedemann tries to play it back down center. McCandawary for Pickens. Leading ball for Schaefer. Berry stripped it free, and Hildebrandt launches it back to midfield. Koenig carried down by Schaefer. Hoyt plays it back. And now down to the field. Third member of our crew is Morgan Conklin.
Mike, a couple minutes ago, Paul Nicholson played a big, long diagonal ball to Andrew Wiedemann on the far side. Alan Koch had his hands over his head, applauding. Just a couple seconds ago, there was another ball into this right corner. He's trying to find where they have numbers up opportunities in the corners.
Thank you, Morgan. Our ACC defender at Virginia Tech, working the touchline for us tonight. Into pockets of space that close down quickly. Now Dakers overloaded on this left side with Wiedemann. Wiedemann will have a go. Sends it right out of Al Lang Stadium.
Cincinnati is finding a ton of success because they're playing that 3-5-2 with 5 midfielders. They are outnumbering the 3 the triangle of the three of Tampa Bay Rowdies in the center of the park. That's where they're finding the success, not in the behind the back line of Tampa Bay. It's more just finding those pockets outside that triangle that they're having some time and space on the ball.
Hoyt surveys his options. Back from Wiedemann. Now a stretch pass. We wondered if they would try and attack the center back pairing for Tampa Bay, especially with Damian Lowe out.
Yeah, both coaches were kind of sly about it, didn't really say one way or the other, but that consistency and that chemistry between the two center backs is key because they're the foundation for your entire team. They're the ones that set where the line is, where you pressure, when to drop. And if those two are off just a little bit, a talented forward will sit in between that pocket.
Dakers does well to keep the ball again. Widens out play. Hoyt got the cross in. And that took out over the end line. Corner coming. As we near a hydration break, it is a steamy night in Tampa Bay. So Aiden Quinn, early yellow card to his credit on his way over. Quinn. That ball got over Pickens. A touch to it from Koenig, but he was already out of play, and Pickens is still looking for a foul, appealing.
A long service, trying to find the back post. Kind of just not able to get his body around it. But Pickens is calling for a foul. He feels like he was pushed or obstructed at some point and inhibited his ability to get to the ball.
So Pickens will go back to work. An early injury, Akira Fitzgerald did such a good job in the early going, but Fitzgerald's eventual injury put Pickens right back in the order. The two have combined for 6 shutouts, 3 apiece. Daker's first touch let him down. Back to Hoyt. Trying to spin off the contact. Patterson didn't get the call. Instead, Koenig swarmed. Space for Morel. In on Josu. Morel carrying to the top of the box. He turns and shoots. The save by Hildebrandt. Still loose in the box. Turning. Cole shooting. Held by Hildebrandt. And the best chance for the Rowdies early. 2 big saves from Hildebrandt at the 30-minute mark.
Morel coming from the outside wide position, coming inside, trying to set up the defenders. A quick release, I think, caught the defense a little bit by surprise. Hildebrandt with a great initial save. Joe Cole there to pick up the rebound. Hildebrandt holds onto it this time, allows his team to get reorganized on defense.
Mitch with 2 no's. And a foul as Austin Berry swiped. This is tremendous territory for the Tampa Bay Rowdies as Jonathan Weiner and given a bit of a soliloquy as to why more was warranted from that. Morel has not scored, and he has not assisted a goal yet this year. Morel for Savage, punched away by Hildebrandt. Wrist off backstops, and now King Schaefer. Back pass to Pickens. Off of Barry. Carried ahead by Cole. Leaves it off, ball crossed, and handled again by Hildebrandt. Cleared up to Josu. This the offense that Stu Campbell raved about a couple games ago against Pittsburgh. 3 or 4 really good chances. Struggled a bit more to create against Charleston last time out. Chipped ahead, Hildebrandt there before Patterson. Neither team looks like they're trying to get to this hydration break a little faster.
That's a game of transition right now, back and forth. Teams putting together 6 or 7 passes before they're going forward and trying to have an attempt. Lots of energy on a very hot and humid day. You wonder how long they can sustain this.
And we talked about squad rotation early for FC Cincinnati, and maybe this is a reason why they're playing 3 times in the state of Florida over the course of about 2 weeks. Wiedemann attacking King, lays off to Josu. Candawiri, that's out of play. As both teams will head off for a hydration break, much deserved. It's been a really busy start to this matchup. We've got about a minute to talk about it with Kate Markgraf, Mike Watts. We talked about squad rotation, and that means for Cincinnati, no GB in the starting lineup. He scored 8 goals in the league, 3 in the Open Cup, and so they have to find a way to play without him and create offense without him.
Absolutely. He's such a great post-up player. He's able to hold on to the ball to allow other players to join him, and that is a player that everyone else can build around. What I love about him is he's not afraid to get himself big in front of goal, but then to get onto service, he goes into those places that sometimes other forwards don't want to get into, where they know they might get crushed by a goalkeeper or a defender. He makes everyone a little bit more courageous around him, but also it frees up some other players too, just kind of do what they want, because when he pushes the line back, it creates that pocket of space for Wiedemann and others to play.
And meanwhile, for Tampa Bay, they aren't choosing to sit these 4 right now. 1 to suspension in Bowden, another defender to international duty, and a couple to injury. Those are big losses.
They are, especially Damian Lowe, because he adds that speed, but also he can possess out of the back. And Leo Fernandez helps build the attack on that left-hand side, has a nice little connection with Schaefer as well.
What a crowd tonight in Tampa Bay, finding a way to come out and support the players who are on the field despite all that are not. This crowd, once again, among the best in the USL. Everyone talks about FC Cincinnati, and why not? Averaging over 17,000 fans a game. But spirited crowds across the league this year, as they're well on pace to shatter their attendance record that they set last year.
Cincinnati has the quality and the quantity. In Tampa Bay right now, the quantity and the quality, they're just so loud, even though they might not have the same numbers as FC Cincinnati.
So McCandawiri has it for the Rowdies. 36 minutes gone. We talk about all the attendance, but the USL is one of the most prominent second division professional leagues in the world, featuring some of the game's top talents and rising stars. Stay up to date with all the latest league news and information. Visit USLsoccer.com Give them a follow on Twitter at USL. King unimpeded. Ricochet down to King. Pinballs out to Quinn. Morrell picking Wiedemann's pocket. Morrell running inside of Patterson. Back for Savage. Pushed up wide left again. Dakers taking it right off of Portillos' foot. Now the sprint on for Schaefer. Night falling in St. Petersburg. A team that has struggled on the road, but at home, outstanding on this pristine field. There's King. Cuts around Wiedemann. Tapped down by Cole. Cole plays it through. The shot right to Hildebrandt. Patterson has made himself a force in this first half.
Joe Cole made something out of nothing. Such tight spaces, crafty little footwork.
Patterson. Morrell. Morrell cutting again. Works towards the end line. He sends the low service, and it's in from Patterson. Finally, Patterson puts one in for the Rowdies, and they're in front of FC Cincinnati shortly before halftime.
FC Cincinnati has so many numbers central. If Tampa Bay could find some space wide, they were going to be successful. Morrell trying to cut inside where he unleashed the shot earlier, able to get around the corner and turn it to Patterson with a quick release, a little bit of a pivot with his hip, able to get up and over Hildebrandt. But watch this, a little bit of deception. We go inside, and he keeps his run going. Look at the sheer amount of numbers of red and blue in the center. He spreads it wide, spreads out that back line a bit, and Patterson able to run onto it and time it perfectly.
His third of the year, and for the Rowdies, a 243-minute scoreless streak is in the rear-view mirror. For Patterson, that sure does feel deserved, doesn't it?
Well, he has that work ethic. He's that player that you want to be rewarded.
How about the work ethic from Morrell? He traversed the entire field.
He did. But you recall that Cincinnati is playing a completely different lineup than the one they've had success with over their past two games, USL Cup against Chicago Fire. You don't have their usual outside right wing backs that we're traditionally seeing. So you wonder a little bit if the communication is lacking from this back line of Cincinnati, which allowing them to get too bunched and too narrow. They're too tight in their spacing leading up to that goal.
For the second consecutive time in this two-game USL League history between the clubs, the Rowdies score first. Last time it was Schaefer in the first 10 minutes. SC top 10, behemoth shot from 40 plus. Well done by Wiedemann to play Quinn. Barry. Hoyt. Space for Walker, had to stop. And eventually commits the foul. We talked about how physical the Rowdies are. FC Cincinnati, top 5 in the league in fouls conceded this year as well.
But it's where they're fouling that I think is important to note. They're always fouling the minute they lose the ball because they don't want to get caught in transition because their 2 wing backs are pushed high. They have 2, maybe 3 in the back. It's a professional foul. It's a smart one.
Big shove as Dakers fighting tooth and nail on the touchline, ultimately winning it for Cincinnati. Lifted over the top by Halfhill. His second start of the year started against Rochester on the road at the end of May. Josu off of Morel. Tam McCandawiri off to starter last year, but Collins and Lowe really had the job locked down early in the season, pressed into service. Attack on, advantage played. Stepping by, Morel, one hand to it. The follow-up is in from Cole. Hildebrandt made the initial save, but it's the English legend Joe Cole who scores for the Rowdies. They've doubled their lead.
Tampa Bay was looking for confidence, having their first home game after being on the road. And this all starts from Morel. Hildebrandt with a good initial save, but no one tracks Joe Cole from the deep-lying midfield position, allowed a free pass straight to the goal. Right now, Cincinnati, when they lose the ball, they're not recovering quick enough, especially their midfield in that last play. And Joe Cole capitalizes on it.
Well, no surprise, Ralph's mob plenty excited now. You talked about the quality and the quantity of the fans in Tampa Bay. Well, there's plenty of quality right now, both on and off the field. And meanwhile, elsewhere, in this heat, the teams are on their way off the field. A standing ovation for a team that has not won in 7 games in the league. Perhaps no surprise at all that Joe Cole's the man who doubles the lead. Talked about his leadership. Sometimes it's not with words, but with action. He has been all over the field thus far. If you're the Rowdies, you have to be ecstatic going into half.
Absolutely, just a huge confidence boon. Now, if you're FC Cincinnati, how do you dig yourself back out? Are you going to make some substitution, put some of your more consistent starters back on there and try to build yourself back into this game?
So the players on their way off the field. And a weather delay graphic has appeared on the scoreboard here. There was lightning off in the distance, and it appears that it's gotten a bit too close to Al Lang Stadium. So in St. Petersburg, there is lightning striking not twice, but 3 times, I suppose. As FC Cincinnati trailing on the road, this great run of form they've had, to a Tampa Bay Rowdies side so desperate for points. You can see little flickers off in the distance. So at halftime, or thereabout, at the weather delay at the least, it is a 2-0 lead for the home side Tampa Bay Rowdies. We'll have updates as we get them from Al Lang Stadium in St. Pete. Can someone give me an update? What are you saying? Hold on. It's Tom. Yep. Yep. Okay. We are going to do highlights. Okay, yeah, I'm following you, buddy. No, me neither, but everyone's walking off and I heard lightning, question mark? It's not already in progress, right? They're starting an episode? Yeah. Lightning strikes 3 times. I'm just sitting here like, dude, I'm just stuck. What do I say? I got nothing. I just I'm trying here, all right? I hope so. I'm just trying to be here for you. Oh, God. We have a scenic, right? In St. Petersburg, there is lightning off in the distance, and that's why right now Tampa Bay Rowdies with a 2-0 lead shortly before halftime over FC Cincinnati is in a weather delay. Hello, everybody, back with Kate Markgraf, and hopefully Morgan Conklin has found some nice shelter. Mike Watts, glad to have you with us. Before we look back at the first half highlights, worth telling you it'll be a minimum 30-minute delay, and with that in mind, we'll show you what's happened so far in the first 44 and a half minutes. And from the outset, we saw the open game that both coaches were looking for.
Yeah, definitely. Both teams had their chances. Just Tampa Bay that happened to capitalize on. Right here, we see Morel dribbling in, and this time you think that he might go for a shot. He's still trying to look for it, but this time he goes end line, and he's able to find Patterson. A quick release. Nobody picks him up from Cincinnati, and it's 1-0. We can see another look at this. He stays on his feet. The ref does not call it, gives him advantage. He gets end line. This is something they were not doing on that right side at all until this one play, and it pays dividends.
39th minute, those dividends came. We move forward, and FC Cincinnati had their chances. They also lost the ball in the midfield here. You see the lightning in the background, and off to the races goes Morel.
When you see that, you see FC Cincinnati not dropping at the same rate that Morel is attacking, and Joe Cole and the rest of Tampa Bay is joining the attack. quicker than anyone from FC Cincinnati is tracking back. And because of that, Joe Cole is the first one to that rebound.
Joe Cole scores goal number 5 of the season in the 44th minute. And the crowd certainly enjoyed it at Al Lang Stadium. The captain picking up where he left off a couple games ago on the score sheet, trying to end a lengthy winless streak as long as it's been in a couple years' time. So the players headed off. Here are the halftime statistics and the shots on target certainly would lead you to think the score line is pretty accurate.
Well, absolutely. Tampa Bay had the more dangerous chances, but surprising as FC Cincinnati has a higher possession rate than most opponents do at Tampa Bay Stadium. That's because they're finding success in those wide pockets in the midfield where they're setting play.
So 2-0 in favor of the Rowdies over FC Cincinnati in the United Soccer League game of the week. And the rain has started coming down now. Fans on their way to find maybe better cover than they initially had found at Al Lang Stadium, with the overhang not being nearly enough. As right now, a 2-0 Rowdies lead. Updates in moments on ESPNU.
Welcome back. It is halftime with Tampa Bay up 2-0 over FC Cincinnati. We are halfway through the season. Stay tuned and watch some of the best plays of the first half of the USL.
The 2017 USL season already has been one for the record books, with major new names including Phoenix Rising FC's Didier Drogba and Omar Bravo, the Tampa Bay Rowdies' Marcel Schaefer, adding to the excitement as the league continues to raise the level on and off the field.
United Soccer League, Oklahoma City Energy taking on the Sacramento Republic FC. You make the top play, we will find you. Check out Miguel Gonzalez.
Pittsburgh Riverhounds versus Toronto FC. Victor Sudo drills the rocket upper right corner. This is the only goal in the game. Riverhounds win at 1-0.
San Antonio FC and the Tulsa Roughnecks. 4th minute scoreless game. Chris Turpak in the box falls down, doesn't prevent him from scoring.
This is from USL. FC Cincinnati made some news earlier in the week as they made it to the next round of the US Open Cup. And how about this goal by Andrew Weidman? He does all the heavy lifting. Boom, boom, boom. Smack. Game ends 2-2 against Charleston Battery.
Rowdies taking on the Richmond Kickers. Rowdies cross, header blocked. DeShorn Brown. Look at DeShorn in great position, finishing with the scissor kick.
The thrilling action on the field has been seen by record levels of support in the stands. New facilities like those in Rio Grande Valley and Phoenix have welcomed fans to new, exciting eras for both clubs, while fervent support for clubs like the Richmond Kickers, Tampa Bay Rowdies, San Antonio FC, Louisville City FC, and Sacramento Republic FC has put the league on course for total attendance of more than 2 million this season, a historic high. Sacramento has been at the forefront of the rising competition too, with Republic FC's victory against Real Salt Lake sending the side into the round of 16 in the Lamar Hunt US Open Cup for the first time. Ottawa Fury FC's arrival in the USL has been marked by a remarkable victory against Toronto FC in front of a passionate crowd at TD Place in the Canadian Championship, while the second highest crowd in Open Cup history, 32,287 fans, saw FC Cincinnati earn a thrilling penalty shootout victory against the Chicago Fire to advance to the quarterfinals. As the season reaches its halfway point, the USL has never been stronger.
Welcome back to the USL Game of the Week. We are in a weather delay, really halftime now, between FC Cincinnati and Tampa Bay. Everyone's talking about those teams. Everyone has talked about Phoenix and Didier Drogba. They've talked about San Antonio, Real Monarchs, Louisville City, Charleston. But right now, it's just good for every fan in the league to see the kind of numbers going through the turnstiles.
Well, absolutely. Everyone wants to go to games when you're in those host cities because of the quality of the players, as well as Drogba, Joe Cole, all these other players are bringing the level of the game up. So people want to go see high-quality soccer in an incredible environment. No wonder all the fans are fervent. It's just an incredible product for soccer in this country.
To take a term from the USL, they're raising the level across Division II this year. So good things going on around the USL. So far, we've had good things on the field until a bit of a storm had arrived in St. Petersburg. It is 2-0 in favor of Tampa Bay. We'll have updates as we move forward in halftime. start the year? Okay. And I'll talk the number 2 team in both and let you get a comment in on the. He's got 14. Yes. And then power rankings, and I'll get us there. He wasn't injured. It's just Gold Cup hasn't started, so he just left. He's on international duty. Romario Williams. Yeah. One of many players in the league that's been called up to international duty, like Damian Lowe. Schedules. Okay. The rain is falling. Fans are still waiting under the overhang at Al Lang Stadium. Not just some rain, there's plenty of lightning as well over the bay in St. Petersburg as the Rowdies have a 2-0 lead. Patterson and Cole scoring the goals in this affair. How about we take a look around the USL? We begin in the Eastern Conference. Louisville City just 2 losses on the year. But right now we're going to see which teams step up and all the depth, especially with international duty, making its call.
Well, especially for Charleston, they'll be missing Romario Williams, who's been called up for international duty. He leads the team with 14 goals. Who else on the offense is going to step up to keep this team at the top of the table? And
when you look at Tampa Bay, so many games played. For Charlotte, they have the fewest number of games played. And look at them. They're in 3rd place. Cincinnati in 7th. And Tampa Bay in 4th at the present moment. Meanwhile, in the Western Conference, we take a look at that top 2 because they are way above everybody else. Swope Park is making their run, the defending champions of the Western Conference. But San Antonio started 14 games unbeaten, and Real Monarchs have found a way to jump them anyways.
Well, they had a 9-game winning streak, was a big reason for that. But it's been very difficult for the 5 through 8 to try to catch up some steam. They're going to need a huge momentum shift in order to try to get back into playoff contention.
And, of course, Carterone and Drogba, they're unbeaten with Phoenix Rising since arriving. They're in 10th. All eyes there as well. As we take a look at the most recent power rankings from USLsoccer.com, when you have a 9-game win streak, usually that moves you up, doesn't it?
Well, absolutely. But you know what's interesting to me is on the East Coast, there's so much, the Eastern side, there's so much parity on that side that I think they're going to be more battle-tested when it comes to these 2 conferences playing one another.
And the Rowdies sitting there in 10th in the USL power rankings. Let's take a look forward for these teams. We begin with FC Cincinnati. And we talked about being at home for them and how big a deal that is for them. And if you look, they're going to be home quite a bit moving forward, except for that rivalry derby against Louisville City.
Well, and you saw how successful they were in June when they had a 5-game homestand. They went 3-1-2, including the USL Cup. So for me, it's just incredible to see what the crowd and the motivation they provide with playing in front of 20s, 30,000 crowd and fan support, how well they play.
Well, the pride and the folks in the Bailey at Nippert Stadium, never a problem with that. For Tampa Bay, we talk about home and we talk about road, and the splits are really significant. They can't wait to have 4 of their next 5 at home, including tonight.
Absolutely. All these players seem just to step it up a level, as most do at home, but more for Tampa Bay. It's just being near their families. For Joe Cole, it's being able to walk to the stadium. It impacts how they play, and this is a team that benefits from home field advantage.
And as we look forward around the league, ESPN has picked up some of the most enticing matchups in the league this year. And if you think about our next game together on ESPNU, it's off to San Antonio. We talk about that lengthy unbeaten streak in Oklahoma City, too. So we should have a fun one on Friday, July 14th. That'll kick off 9 p.m. Eastern on ESPNU. As with tonight, it's a great showcase for the league to have national TV games back-to-back weeks.
Absolutely. And you know what? Everyone looks forward to it. It raises the profile of the league. And you know what? People want to play in front of on camera. People want to play on ESPNU. So it's just a great thing for the players and for the fans at home.
So it should be a fun one. As for this, the rain has stopped. We'll see how quickly we can get back. E60 is coming your way now. Rowdies at 2-0 lead at the half. was not an easy. We just threw you the entire league in a nutshell. Somewhere Amy is sitting in her house right now with that beautiful cat she has as her.
Cohen is like, what?
Yeah, I'm sure ESPN's not too enthused with this, but that's how it goes. Well, I've got a 7 a.m. flight tomorrow. What about you?
Ditto.
Someone from Cincy just said, well, we were in the garbage. Don't go too far. Good job, everyone. So don't go too far in the menu again at the bottom of the hour. Have fun. We're going to get there. All right. But obviously, we keep doing the likeness. job for that immediately? That's a no-doubter, right?
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Harry Carey here.
Highlights. And it's just the goals. Yeah. I love my notes. I even ran a comb through this wild hair, Brian. No, I have one. Or we can do what we did at the USL Cup final, and Kate can just reach over mid pregame and go, whoop. Yeah. What are we going back to? Oh. There's no one I'd rather go through this hell with than you. Oh, but it is hell. I'm like, all right, grab a pen. Let's roll. I got you. It's like another USL coast to coast here. Fans trying to repopulate the stands at Al Lang Stadium. The rain has stopped. Lightning continues intermittently, and so we are in a weather delay at halftime. Back with the World Cup and Olympic champion Kate Markgraf, Mike Watts. Glad to have you with us for the USL Game of the Week on ESPNU. And a little bit of disappointment here that we don't get to play this thing out at the present moment, so we wait and find out how long we have to wait. But it was a good first half, a very spirited effort.
It was on both sides. FC Cincinnati came out with a changed lineup, a little bit more fresh legs, try to protect some of the players a bit fatigued to prevent them from getting injured. But what I love that with the opportunities that were being created, especially by Tampa Bay, who had a lion's share of the chances.
Let's take a look at some of the best chances for Tampa Bay in our first half highlights. It was a good day when it started. The sun was out. Joe Cole with his usual walk, collar popped and all. He's got a wonderful drink as well and needed the shades. There was a little bit of tailgating as well. But as we got to the game, sun was still out, and for the Rowdies, they finally broke through a bit of a scoring drought.
Absolutely. They had gone on a 7-game winless streak. They could not wait till they get home. And this is how it all started. It started with Morel, who gets a start, not playing a ton this season. He starts on the inside, and then he goes down to his preferred right foot, cuts it, gets wide to Patterson, who beats his defender, gets into the space before the defender can block it. 1-0 for Tampa Bay.
39th minute. It's goal number 3 of the year for Morel. It's his first assist. It's hard to imagine why when he plays it in this well. Hildebrandt beaten. That doesn't happen very often. We move forward, and Tampa Bay was able to get forward in a hurry here. Joe Cole with the eventual finish.
Absolutely. With FC Cincinnati pushing so many numbers forward, they're going to get on the counter. And again, Morel driving the charge with speed. Hildebrandt with a great initial save. But look at the sheer number of Tampa Bay players in advance of the ball trying to get to it first. Just sheer will and determination. And Joe Cole, the man, now has 5 goals on the season. Always the one that is in the right spot at the right time with his excellent anticipatory skills.
That is his first goal in 3 since the 11th of June. At halftime, Rowdies 2, Cincinnati 0. We'll send you back to E60 with an update. on the way. I can give you words. I've got good words. I've got words. No. No, don't do that. No, don't. No. Oh. San Antonio doesn't get A look at Al Lang Stadium. This a few minutes ago, rain and lightning, but the squeegeers are out on the field now, putting in the hardest work of all. They're trying to find a way to get this field in fine condition. It's one of the most pristine pitches in the league, and so it's perhaps no surprise that with it being 2-0 at halftime in St. Petersburg, we remain in a lightning delay, but look to continue at 10:30. Until then, updates as we get them. Back to E60. Morgan, did you make it? Hey, Brian, am I on now? Uh-oh. Just want me to make sure Morgan's okay. That does not look great. Yeah, no, and I'm not on, so I don't think she can hear me either. So. Hopefully we don't need a hydration break. Oh.
Thank you. I think I'm in that dead spot right now.
Hey, I hear her. Hey, Morgan.
I know, thank you.
Hi, Morgan. How are you? Morgan, can you hear me? I heard Morgan, and I think you guys hear me, right? They won't be happy if that earpiece is
Oh,
water
Art, can you hear me?
Hey, can you hear me? Morgan.
Art, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear
Okay,
Morgan.
I lost you for like a couple minutes, but I can kind of hear you.
Yeah, hey, how are you? You good?
Hold on, wait, hold on. Now, okay, yeah, I can hear you. Literally right here. If I step a centimeter either side, I lose you.
Well, I'm overrated anyways. Are you okay? You good?
Do you want me to keep walk? Like, should I make a mark in the ground right here for where I need to stand, or?
Well, I don't think she can hear me, so.
Mike, I can hear you.
Oh, there you are. Okay.
So you're going to throw to me. I'll ask you a question, say what's going on, and I'll throw back to you.
Okay. It's great to hear your voice. I thought you were struck by lightning.
Nope, don't worry. I'm here. I'm wearing pretty much water shoes now. My hair is up in a rubber band. So we're surviving, not thriving.
Look, I'm of the well, you look better than the field does from the level we're looking at it right now. Holy smokes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the left side.
I can't really see. I can't honestly, like being on the field level, can't really see. My shoes felt it all the way across. They've been working on it, but they also only worked on that one corner. So I guess that's where it puddles.
Okay.
You guys sound great, though. Keep it up.
Oh, shucks. I saw Tom Beat down there. I see him hanging out.
Yeah, he's like following me around. He's so funny.
Is that funny to you? I think that's illegal.
No, it's all right. He's helping me out. He was pumping me up earlier.
Are you on the far touchline?
Yeah. Do you see me?
For a second, and then, oh, hello.
Oh, wait. Oh,
there
wait.
you are.
I thought I lost
found
you.
There you are. I see Morgan.
Art, do I need to stand here or just remember where I am? The middle, where I was sitting, yes. I can hear you, yes.
1, 2,
I can hear
3,
you,
4,
yes,
5.
yes. Can you keep talking just so I can make sure?
Me, 1,
Okay,
2,
yeah.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I can count to 10. Isn't that impressive? Now she's walking out. Along the midfield line, it's Morgan Conklin.
Yeah, I can.
The Virginia Tech Hokie, an outstanding yet undersized defender who uses her brain as well as her running ability to
Like
get
this
up
triangle?
and down the line.
Okay.
She can't hear me at all, huh? 'Cause if so,
Okay.
I don't know what better play-by-play I can get for you.
Art, so when Mike throws to me, is there anything I can do about the delay? Okay, so just be ready 2 seconds before.
On or
Okay.
off? Yep. Yep. Hold on. Hold on. Keep talking. Okay.
Look at, these were light tan.
Okay.
I have flip flops in my car, but it's not like I can
Okay.
get to them.
That's fine. We can do it. Romario Williams. Don't forget. Never forget. 14 goals. Morgan, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Hey, there you are. I just did some really fine play-by-play about your outside backing.
Oh, I missed it all.
That's Brian.
Man.
He also wears like women's jeans.
I like how you gave me a shout out though about how I was when I did my first hit.
The ACC
Or maybe it was my
defender?
second. No, it was my
In
yeah,
game.
it made me feel really special, Mike.
Well, I
Thank
think
you.
It's important
You
to
get
at
me.
least suggest that you know what you're talking about. You're more than
No,
just
I
a
really
pretty face,
appreciate that,
Morgan.
Mike.
You're an outstanding reporter.
Aww.
Damn it! You're a great
Thanks,
reporter.
Mike. And you were worried about me blowing away. And you were worried about me blowing away, so that means a lot.
Wait till you see halftime. Like I look at Kate and I'm like, back with Kate, and I hope Morgan found shelter.
Yeah, I told Mackenzie, I'm like, they are so lucky, but it's so weird right now. In the stands.
Yeah, you're looking right at it. There's a camera up there.
Yep.
There you are. If you look that direction,
Okay.
you're all good. Very nice necklace tonight.
Do you need me to talk, like to check? Okay. Okay, sounds good.
Yeah?
Like my legs in my back, I don't know how
Going up and down those steps or something?
Yeah, I'm just standing, like not wearing shoes. Like I literally feel like I've been out on the field. Am I good to walk back over, or do I need to stand here? Oh, so they're coming. Okay, cool. Yes. All the way back there? Just in front? Here? Good?
Like a security. That's heavy. That's not got goals in this game. I called a league lead in 8 straws left in the game. Like this game. So I've got gold cup and a wedding and a gold cup, so I'm gone. So I'll pop up.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Cool. Cool. Okay. Cool. Thank you. Are we still on track to do this around? They're coming back out soon? They'll go to me. Okay, great. Thank you. And I'll hear him pitch to me. I'll hear him pitch to me. Okay.
This isn't long enough halftime. You don't even want to turn. They called this thing.
What? Who said that? Tom?
Jimmy was saying that they were talking over there.
Who said that?
Jimmy, the camera guy, said that he had heard that, like...
No,
So you guys still... Can you confirm or...
Art.
I just want to make sure it's still...
We're confirming we're doing Stu right when he comes out and then giving an update. There's no coach anymore? Okay.
Huh?
Okay, I wasn't aware of that. Okay, so just update. Okay. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, that was 30 miles away. I counted.
That was the first I'd heard that.
Yeah, no, that's why I was like... I heard it, I was like, I better let you know.
When I came over here, yeah, I thought it was a quick game, so it's just an update.
Perfect. Sounds good. Yeah, and I think it's still on board to like 3 minutes, 1 minute halftime.
3 minutes, 1 minute half. Great, thank you. Yeah, he's actually the one who told me, so I was just double checking because I didn't heard that. We good here? I thought that was thunder and I almost got a little worried. My left? Right or left? Here? So I'm really just doing like a 15-second hit because I'm just saying that it's 3 minutes, finishing the 3 minutes, 1 minute switch, and then second half. I'm really just doing like a 15-second hit because I'm just saying they're finishing the 3 minutes, the 1 minute switch at halftime, and then finishing the second half. Okay. Okay. Right, that's why I thought we were doing stew, but... Okay. Okay. Mike and Kate, they decided they're going to finish the last 3 minutes of stoppage time from that first half. The halftime will be just a 1 minute switch. Both teams will switch sides, and then they'll kick the second 45. Mike, due to that weather delay, the halftime already happened. They'll come back, finish those 3 minutes of extra time, have a 1-minute break where they just switch sides, and then get the second half started.
Yeah? Wow. Where's it from? They're from. Fuck. Stuff was terrible. No, I'm kidding. That's great. Hi, everybody. Welcome to safety. You know how much I love coming back on and say, gonna be a wee bit funny.
Oh, really? Okay. Oh, yeah, there's more lightning. I'm going to go to the dugout with them because when I tried to come down from the booth, it took way too long. I'll make sure I'm standing outside the dugout, though, so I can hear you. Okay, thank you.
They're probably going to come out in like 5. Yeah, I got to say, they'll probably come out like the next like.
So 18 minutes until pitch.
Sure. That's what we're looking at.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Art, can you hear me? So I don't know if you've been relayed. They're starting the clock at 8. They're going to count it down to 0. They're going to start it back at 10. And when it gets down to the second 0 after 10, they're kicking. So hypothetically, in 18 minutes, once the clock starts, they will kick. Correct. Yeah, so players should be out here, I'm assuming, in like 5-10 minutes. Okay.
When that clock starts.
I'm going to give you, in a minute, I'm going to give you 18 minutes. So we'll be 13 minutes.
So when that clock starts.
We don't have to go 5 minutes out. We can go in tighter if you want.
We can see lightning. I'm just saying right over the whole time. What we're concerned about is
Well, here's the deal. We're gonna have. If I come back 5 minutes before tip, can you cover with Morgan and what we're gonna do? Can you guys cover 5 minutes? I wouldn't put it back on. Trust me. I would not put anybody in. It's not worth my job. It's not worth their life. Well, no, we're gonna come back at 5 so you can interview the coaches, give you an update on what's going on. That'll take a minute and a half, so you'll have a minute and a half to cover. So stay with me for a minute. I'm gonna give you 18.
Gotta go to 0 and 10. Yeah. Oh, you're good? Yeah. Oh, okay.
When that hits 0, the teams will come out. Yeah. So they'll come out when probably like 30 seconds left. 10-minute warm-up, then go straight into it.
And we're not doing stew, so I need to get with them about when they want to do it. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. So players are coming out once it goes down and it's 10.
I want to make you feel. I'll make you feel reassured.
Do they have any idea
Is that better?
when, like around what time we're coming back on?
Yeah, just hold on a minute. I'll give it to you.
Okay.
It's going to be in 18 minutes from when he said go. We're almost about 10:30, so we started at 10:30. We're 10:30. So this should flip in a minute.
So at 10:30, that's been 6 minutes of all clear. We're going to start the clock. Okay, 8 minutes till everyone's out.
10:30. We're at 10:30. All right, hold on a minute. All right, 18 minutes from now. 48 will come back to air at 43. Yeah, we'll come back at 40. Yeah, you guys come up at 43 with you come up with Kate and Mike, and then we'll throw down to Morgan. She'll have a coach. She'll do an update on the timing.
I was told no coach. I was told just update.
Oh, we're not doing coach now?
That's what I was told by I found that out over there. Just an update. So my thing's only like 20 seconds.
Hold on a minute. Did Nico say that?
Nico said that, and then
Nico said no coach.
Yes.
All right, we're not doing the coach. So they'll throw down for her. She'll do an update. Pick it back up to you. You'll have to cover about 4.
Coach would.
All right.
Attention fans, you may now return to your seats.
Let them know that we're coming back on air at 43. And it's going to go on air at 43.
When the clock is 0, the players will return to the field. There will be a 10-minute
Mike's going to
warm-up.
take it and throw to you.
We will play the final 3 minutes of the first half.
Art.
There will be a 1
Are you there? So Tom said we're coming back on air at 43, and he said he'd like it to be a wide shot. Then they'll go to Mike Watts, and then he'll throw it to me. Okay. And then I'm just doing an update, and I'll send it back to him. Great. Thank you. Yes. Yes. Okay. Yep, we'll do. Yep, we'll do. Tom.
How are you?
Bagels?
I know, yeah, you can get it that way. No rain? Not this year or last year, but the year before we had. Last year?
Thank you so much. We have time. Yeah. That's crazy you guys haven't had.
Yeah.
Been lucky.
Not sure this year. Of course, you know, the rainy season's about this time. Last year we flirted a little bit with everything, but we never had anything come up right at game time. So tarp would be over if they would sneak out or anything else like that.
a couple where it rained hard from like noon to 5. The field would have been, they cleared up, but the tarp was over and they pulled it off. But yeah, just the first time. That came out of nowhere. See you on Saturday. You get back in there?
Yeah, I'll be back
I see there. I think I got Louisville, Charleston.
Are you play-by-play?
I'll do play-by-play.
That's a good one.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a really good one.
Yeah.
Who are you working with?
Lee, who I did the
Oh,
music,
that's awesome. That'll be awesome. That's a really good one.
Yeah, I know. I did a 4-4 time last time.
Is it home at Louisville?
It's again in Charleston. They played 3
A
times.
lot of a lot of
Well, no, Charleston comes here in 2 weeks. That'll be the 3rd matchup with them as well. Each team gets 3 opponents that they played 3 times, and then 1 from the other conference.
Louisville, Charleston, and Tampa Bay, Charleston aren't bad games to have to decide. Good to see you.
Reports on who mixed the coach.
Yeah, I'd love to.
I don't know who did.
You asked Art.
I found out when he told me. Hey, Art.
I mean, I've already set up.
Who nixed the coach interview? Whose decision was that? He's finding out.
Yeah,
I think it got mixed up.
Because I didn't know until you
Correct,
told
yeah.
me.
Johnny told me that they were, I guess, one of the issues they were having is over there was they were like getting a static signal.
Yeah.
So we can do it right here. We can do it right here. The receiver's there. We can do it there.
Well, he also had me stand over there to test it over there
Yeah.
from the camera out there.
I mean, we can do it wherever you want. I'm all about coaches' interviews. I love them.
Yeah. Yeah.
We've done them for the last
We can
4
do
years.
it here. I mean, I'm fine with doing it
I can
here.
do it I just need to know that way.
Well, okay, just tell Art we would like to do the coaches interview. Can we do it here?
All right, we would like to do the coaches interview, so if we can do it here, that would be great.
Yes.
So, what are you going to go with Stewart if you get him?
Coach, you guys are knocking on the door. 2 late chances. How do you keep the momentum coming out of this weather delay? I've had enough time to do it. I did type it up though if you were like when I found out.
Yeah. We had a bad. It was weather and rain. Like, this whole thing looked like a pool.
Yes. Yep. Yep.
Oh my God.
Okay. You want me to go back over to the side? We want to get Stu, but it has to be quick, obviously, when we come on. Can we have him at like 43 out there before 43? Because we go on at 43.
Before what? What do you mean?
Well, we go on at 43, so we just need him out there with me before 43 before we go on. That's not an issue, right?
What are you talking about?
10:43.
Oh, I thought
Sorry.
you
Some of us are like excited to see what that means. I want to.
Okay, so we're gonna. Art, you want me back over where I was? I'm gonna be back over in the middle area. Thank you. Yep, you got it.
Oh, you will? Okay. Yeah. So we're scheduled.
And then
He's gonna be there. We're gonna get Stu.
Yep, you got it. Thank you. I'm gonna. Thank you.
Good.
I was looking. Might need a breath thing if I'm talking to a coach. Especially after this long, you never know.
Been 2.5 hours.
Went exactly the 45th minute. I think we kicked at 07. So we went off at 8:52. So we'll see how long the official delay time is. This one is like right at the outset. That's obvious.
We have a filibuster.
The weather filibuster is nearing its conclusion.
It's happened. Dear baby
Coach, you guys were knocking on the door 2 late goals. How do you keep this momentum coming out of this other goal?
You've seen
Thanks, Coach.
Yeah.
Good luck. Mike and Kate, we're going to finish these last 3 minutes of game. There's going to be a halftime already happening.
I have that
There's going to
dining
be
room table, by the way. In that shot, that is my dining room table.
This is like
Trying to be serious. So we shouldn't have a Morgan lower third. We should have Morgan and
Probably
Stu.
during the game, so once they get into the game and establish,
And then we'll
during that 1 minute break, we can go down here and say, hey, the field is this happening.
He said he was leaving. Canceled, right?
How long do I have on the sauce? Right, 20 seconds, 15.
Oh my gosh, that's a nice surprise. I wasn't expecting that.
I wasn't in.
So cold, like, how do I get this answer?
Hello. Yep. Yep.
We send it down to the third member of our crew with Stuart Campbell. It's Morgan Conklin.
Thanks, Mike. Coach, you guys, we're knocking on the door, 2 goals right before half. How do you keep this momentum going out of the weather delay?
Good.
I can't really move to an inch either side because then I lose you.
Okay. Well, then have him come to you. Keep
But yeah,
waving him over. He'll think it's a trap.
Yeah, I have like nails in my feet, but that was good.
Morgan.
Why are you laughing at me?
Because you're stuck on that field right now.
What?
You're stuck out there. That's so... You can't move. It's like you're nailed down to this wet field in St. Pete.
Bye, 301. The handheld was cutting out. We're going out from the top camera, right? The 301? Yep. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back.
Can I give you this?
It's a thriller night in St. Petersburg. Our weather filibuster is almost complete. Hope you grabbed a quesadilla. Hell, maybe even a
Just for right
bratwurst.
now.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. That's all I got. Oh, no, I'm missing the whole. Some of it just doesn't go, dude. This is. I don't know. Why does that woman keep screaming? Like, it really is a thriller night. My God. Should I allude to the fact that I hope everyone enjoyed their extra E60 viewing? Yeah. No, I have to work with her next week, so that's a hard pass, brother. Is that woman gonna move, or am I gonna see that trident being eaten live on camera?
Yep. I'll tell Nico. Oh, there's lightning over there.
Stop. No, Morgan, stop it. Don't say that.
I really didn't see it, I promise. I take that back.
Yeah, Brian was saying that we'll have a tornado next week in San Antonio.
Brian would say that.
Yeah, well.
All I know is I'm getting a hat from the USL. So even if it is, I'm going to be ready. I'll have my rain boots on. Yeah, I'm going to get one. I'll be like one of them Weather Channel people. All conditions. I'm ready to go.
Yeah, good for you. Back from a weather filibuster in St. Petersburg, the Tampa Bay Rowdies have a 2-0 lead over FC Cincinnati. And for more on this pseudo halftime and the first half that was, down to the field, Morgan Conklin stands by with Stu Campbell.
Looking at the door early on, 2 late goals. How do you keep this momentum going coming out of that break?
Yeah, more of the same. Obviously, we spoke about it. It's not ideal having the delay that we had, but that's life. We just got to make sure that we finish off the first half in the manner that we started it, and then obviously prepare for the second half.
Awesome. Thanks, Coach. Good luck.
Thanks.
Mike and Kate, they're going to play the last 3 minutes left over from that first half. Just a quick 1-minute break to switch sides, and then it's ready to kick the second half.
Thank you, Morgan. And back with Kate Markgraf, Mike Watts, of course, Stuart Campbell. A player with the Rowdies first, then an assistant, now the head man. Perhaps no surprise that he comes out and says you have to deal with what you have to deal with. Coming out of the locker room, what's this like now for these teams coming back onto this wet field? It's a totally different condition.
It is. Well, the momentum is totally gone for Tampa Bay. But the one thing that all these players are, especially all the ones that have played internationally, is they're all adaptable. So you can handle any type of circumstance. You can handle changes in weather, and you're able to refocus quicker than people that aren't used to having to deal with challenges.
You'll see how quickly they can adapt. How about we look back at the first 44 minutes and 45 seconds, give or take, as early on, it was a beautiful day. Joe Cole taking his leisurely stroll to Al Lang Stadium. The fans coming out and tailgating for this one. Quesadillas for everybody. I hope it lasted them through the break, and it was off to the hammocks as well. No time to sleep as soon as this game got kicked off. Kate, this was a game where Tampa Bay came out. They thought it would be open, and they were able to get the first goal.
Absolutely, and they had the majority of the chances in the first half, in a large part due to Morel over on the right side, working his magic, tried to go inside to release a shot with his left foot, decided to get wide, and it was the right choice to find Patterson, who just got the inside of his defender up over Hildebrandt.
In the 39th minute, Morel gets his first assist of the season, while Martin Patterson scores for the third time since debuting against Louisville City on the 15th of April. It was a fine finish, but Tampa Bay was not done yet. Morel was all over the field in the last 10 minutes before the break.
He was, and this time again, he starts on the right side a little bit deeper, but he continues his run. He doesn't go down on the first challenge. He's trying to get pushed off the ball on the second, but there, he keeps it going. Hildebrandt makes a great initial save, but Joe Cole follows up on the rebound. Too many players from Tampa Bay were able to get to the ball first, be in a better attacking position than FC Cincinnati were able to capitalize 2-0 going into the rain delay.
Cole, the legend, Chelsea, West Ham, Liverpool, England, and he's got a goal tonight in the 44th. Here are the halftime statistics, and the Rowdies possess more of the ball, and they get more shots, and they've got their 2 goals.
Absolutely, and they are more dominant at home. Remember, they went on a 7-game winless streak in the games leading up to this one. This is a big boost to their confidence, but recall FC Cincinnati had a ton of roster changes, so I'm wondering if there's going to be any substitutions for the Cincinnati side.
Just 2 goals in the last 4 games for the Tampa Bay Rowdies. Justin Hoyt has returned onto the field for this FC Cincinnati side, one of the 4 fullbacks who have been seeing time of late in this 3-back set. Nicholson, the centerpiece of that group, as the team without Harrison Delbridge tonight, without Corbin Bone, neither in the 18. As we take a look forward, it's what is coming up next week right here on this very channel. It is a 9 p.m. Eastern start on Friday. San Antonio FC against Oklahoma City. Andy Craven, the former FC Cincinnati man sent over to OKC in midseason, has been scoring in fine form. And for San Antonio FC, their 14-game unbeaten streak to start the year, a thing of the past, but a phenomenal run for San Antonio. And again, Kate, you think about national TV, you want to play this game out because everybody was so amped up for the opportunity to play. And for Tampa Bay, that means come out and retain your 2-goal lead. And for Cincinnati, it means you have to come out and be the aggressor.
Absolutely, and this does hurt Tampa Bay more because they had momentum. They had that confidence, that little burst of energy that you get after you score. But now it's a good chance for FC Cincinnati to kind of refocus, kind of recalibrate, improve their concentration and focus, and try to not be so vulnerable on the transition that Tampa Bay was able to capitalize on.
For Stu Campbell, what a big result this could be. Joe Cole, the leader of this group, able to find a goal in the first half. For Alan Koch, it's a bit of a dual mindset. It's tough playing in 2 competitions, and with 3 games in 7 days and something like 7 in 23 days, you have to make tough decisions, and sometimes that means going on the road and starting a lineup with guys who haven't seen as much time on the field.
Especially because they don't have that continuity. When you play a three-back, you need to have everyone on the same page, and especially that person right in front of you, that center midfield, to be that defensive, to be that shield. You don't see that synergy yet with this group, and I think that's part of the reason why they've been so vulnerable on some of the attacks that Tampa Bay have put upon them.
So what you're about to see is going to feel a bit like extra time almost, in the sense that there will be 3 minutes played and then 1 minute to switch sides of the field. We're technically at the 45-minute mark, which is right when that goal was scored by Joe Cole. They'll play 3 minutes out of stoppage time, which of course included a hydration break, which seems rather ironic in hindsight. And then it's on to the second half of play once the teams switch sides. For Cincinnati, that means they're going to play into what is clearly the more devastated end of the field at the start. And they get the second half. They're going to attack into ground that appears a little more fertile.
Absolutely. It'll be much easier going from left to right, because on the left-hand side, this field, we saw the grounds crew working overtime trying to squeegee out all that extra water. There's tons of dirt all over the place. So that's going to be a much quicker side on the right side than the one you're going to see on the left hand of your screen.
When we started this game, a likelihood that there were bratwurst in the parking lot. Now there may be bagels. We're nearing midnight in the East as it's back underway between Cincinnati and Tampa Bay. A 2-0 lead for this Tampa Bay Rowdies team that was intent on getting a result at home where they've been so good. Danny Koenig in for GB in the starting lineup. Came in at a time where Cincinnati desperately needed another scorer. GB was suspended through most of the month of May, was available in the Open Cup, and for Cincinnati, a good thing that he was, scoring all 3 goals for the team as they've shut out all 4 of their opponents. But Koenig helping to keep the team afloat during that time where he was unavailable in the league. For Cincinnati, what's the urgency here? 3 minutes of stoppage time. If you can get something going, maybe there's a chance you could go into the second half at 2-1.
That's optimistic.
Yeah?
But think about it. You just have to run hard for 3 minutes, and then you're getting a break. So you automatically kind of have that little bit of rest period. So you just go hard for 3 minutes, and then you get to do a reset. But they're chasing the game, no matter what.
We'll see who is reading their scouting report and whether or not they're able to mark on this corner kick. Walker! And that's blasted back out. But a foul on the way as well. We'll see if Kadeem Dakers can continue to make the impact that he did in the first 44 minutes. Pickens goes long. Nicholson back to midfield with Morgan Conklin and Kate Markgraf in the booth. Mike Watts. Well, Kadeem Dakers, red carded in the previous affair between the teams, is still arguing his case. Dakers goes into the book, his second yellow card of the year to go along with what was really a bit of a questionable red against Tampa Bay in April. Collins kicks it away from Koenig. Referee's already looking at his watch. So Cincinnati likely will get a chance to finish out this attack. We've reached halftime. And the teams will switch sides of the field over the course of the next 60 seconds or so. Rowdies get goals about an hour and a half ago in the 39th and the 44th minute from Patterson and Cole. And Ralph's Mob, no surprise that they've stuck around in what is both humid heat and also intense rain. Alan Koch thought that they should have been granted the opportunity to continue that attack, Kate.
He did, but you know what? This is a good chance for everyone to reset, and I think this actually benefits Cincinnati going the other direction. They're going to be playing on a much quicker side, and they possibly could benefit on the bounce because that field's going to be really slick.
A look around the United Soccer League this coming weekend. 1 and 2 in the Eastern Conference. Charleston and Louisville City. They played a remarkable 4-4 affair earlier this year. St. Louis scuffling a bit will take on Charlotte Independence, while Real Monarchs had that lengthy win streak. They'll take on a Seattle Sounders 2 side that is in playoff position. Bethlehem will take on the reigning USL Cup champion New York Red Bulls 2. Anytime you get number 1 and number 2 together, there's always going to be some fireworks, especially when you already have a little bit of history.
Absolutely, but the 4-4, I mean, you just wondered defensively what was going on to give up 4 goals on both sides. But it's exciting for the fans, but let's hope for a little bit more defensive soundness heading into the next rematch.
Good night, Moon. Or maybe it's hello, Moon, in St. Petersburg. A 2-0 lead for the Rowdies beneath that scenic at Al Lang Stadium. And for Cincinnati, they will turn around and face the other direction going into the closed end of this stadium. And a halftime substitution. GB has come on for Cincinnati. 8 goals on the year in the league, 3 in U.S. Open Cup. He'll try and add to the tally in this one. So GB and Koenig will stay in the game for Cincinnati. And it's on to the second half. White clipped it ahead. Paul Nicholson comes out, so it may look like a more traditional 4-back. The centerpiece of that 3-back on his way out. It's Josu, a bouncer that comes up to the chin of Pickens. Meanwhile, a player down atop the box is Danny Koenig, and he's got a big gash over his eye. He is really angry now, and a reminder that this is a VAR game, which means if there was some kind of impermissible contact, they could go to the monitor and look at it, Kate.
Absolutely, and right now Koenig definitely thinks something happened that's outside the laws of the game. And Collins also got into a little while ago in that little stoppage time with Dakers. And Koenig is having a tough time cooling down. He'll go off the field, get the blood treated, and then come back on. It'll be a good cooling off period for him. There are very few players that I know of or that I see through the years that actually can come back and perform when they get that angry. It's good to be a little bit fired up, but once you see a forward start yelling at a defender, you know that defender has got that forward's number, and they're not usually as dominant in their performance after that.
Of note, today's match does play an important role in the close partnership between Major League Soccer and the USL to test the use of a video assistant referee.
I just got an elbow from Collins. Collins went straight up, but his elbows were out. The question is, were those elbows always out in that position, or did they come out to hit? There is something where you're allowed to create your own body space and your own sphere of protection, and you do that by lifting your elbows out like that. But the question is, did he lift it up and then hit him, or were they always that way when he first went up? It just happened to be the fact that they collided.
In this case, they won't go to the 5th official, which is Mark Kadlesic. So it's upward and onward with Koenig being looked at as the ball sliced over the top. Knocked away from Hoyt. Koenig had a 4-month-long goal-scoring drought last year. He scored over 20 goals for Oklahoma City Energy in 2015, but hasn't quite refound that form. 4 goals in 2016, the entire season, none to start this year, so he was traded 1-for-1 with Andy Craven in what was the blockbuster trade of the year, and has scored 4 times since.
So something to watch for this entire half. The ball on this left-hand side of the field, or in this left half on your screen, it's bouncing up. It's not gliding forward. It's stopping. It looks like they put either mud down or the sand is now turned into mud. But meanwhile, on the other side, that ball is skipping. So the ball's going to hold up anytime there's a through ball for Tampa Bay. But meanwhile, Cincinnati should continue to run on just in case of a deflection, or just because that bounce is going to fly and goes a different path than what you usually expect when the ground is dry. It's a defender's nightmare. That's all I know. You have to get your body behind it, because any deflection, it's almost like a forward pass.
Koenig has returned. It sounds like a nightmare you've lived once or twice.
Perhaps.
Put in play by Walker. Header is punched away by Pickens. Still alive off the GB shot as Wiedemann takes over. Immediate impact from GB. Ball played across again. GB got his head there. Launched forward again. Takers, turn by GB. Well, the Senegalese striker has certainly made an appearance for himself, hasn't he?
He just came on, and we talked about his ability to get in spaces and out-jump his opponents with his large frame and his excellent timing. And the ball comes in. Look at GB, gets on the backside, reads the path of the ball better than anyone from Tampa Bay does. A good save from Pickens, pushing it out. He had excellent footwork, read it early enough.
Quinn away from Morrell. GB checking back, Savage. Foul conceded, Morrell going down. Well, Alan Koch did say it after that Orlando City B game where a late red card to Pierre da Silva didn't end up making a change in the result. Early goal conceded, and they got one back within 20 minutes of that. But he talked about going the full 90. They're going to try and do that tonight. Headed above the box, wrist off. Well, he duffed that. Went off his left foot. Candawiri. Spinning from Josu. And again, Morrell providing the fireworks. Ramming in at the top of the box to Barry. Wiedemann got it to GB, dispossessed. King still going. Wrist off. Cross. Nodded away. And Josu not whistled for the foul, touching it ahead to Wiedemann. It could be a bit sloppy over there in this second half.
It is going to be, but Alex Morrell, look how impressive he is again in the first half. He had first assist, and the second goal he helped create with his dominant run. But it's not just a straight run that's impressive. It's his ability to weave in and out of pressure, in through pockets of space. He's solving pressure on his own. And that's an incredible gift to have when you're playing against 1-2. He can take out 3 defenders on one dribble.
Walker for GB, pulled in by Pickens. Hey fans, stay up to date on the latest USL news and information from around the league by tuning in to USL Coast to Coast. It's Mondays, 7 p.m. Eastern on Sirius XM-FC Channel 85. And don't forget, XM-FC airs the USL Game of the Week. Check USLsoccer.com for dates and times. Joe Cole, second goal in this affair in the 44th to his credit. A throw coming for Zach Portillos. Really remarkable. In 2015, the goalkeeping coach, who was his goalkeeping coach at Akron, asked him to come and try out for the club. He went 2 games, looked outstanding through tryouts. His trialist signed and then ruptured his right Achilles. So he decided to come back in 2016, played 7 more games, and ruptured the same right Achilles again, the player who just touched the ball and on it again, Portillo's. He came back this year, and this is his first appearance since the end of May against Minnesota United in 2016. As Halfhill retweets. And the Cincinnati native, Austin Berry. '12 MLS Rookie of the Year. Berry, the captain's armband, started 62 straight games, and then it was just a long line of injuries. Man who's claimed the center back role. Dakers did well to backheel that ahead. Hoyt. Hoyt making a run behind. It's just out of his reach.
Oh, that was beautiful soccer. It started with Dakers and Hoyt, able just to create and that interchange of movement. When you see those triangles and Cincinnati is able to set that up, that is when they are the most successful. When they start to get stretched, really their only option, people going to run onto it, is now GB and maybe Dakers. They should get back to that, or even better, a little bit of the two. Mix and match so they be a bit more unpredictable in the attack. Right now they need just something to get back into this game.
There's Aiden Quinn. Cincinnati nearly had that moment. Great save by Pickens to deny GB the halftime sub. And Dakers strikes that ball well too far. Morel again. Marcel Schaefer finding Portillo's. Schaefer knocked down by Hildebrandt. You'll hold on. Hoyt got the cross in for GB, ran into King. '57th minute, Rowdies with a 2-goal lead, and on their home field, for more on that field, down to Morgan Conklin.
Well, during that weather delay, there was heavy rain that fell. The Tampa Bay grounds crew worked tirelessly through that weather delay to try to make the field as playable as possible. It's still a bit soggy, causing the ball to move quickly, but they also had some resodding done in the bottom left corner in between their last homestand since June 10th, so they've been really working on the field to make it as playable as possible.
Thank you, Morgan Cole. It's Morel lining it across. Hildebrandt skipped right to him. Candawiri stepping up. This Cincinnati side, 4 games unbeaten, knocking off Columbus and Chicago in the US Open Cup. Team sitting on the lower echelon of playoff position at the present moment. Quinn And McCandawary steps in front of GB. Josu plays it back.
It's too tight when you're trying to hit a ball, dink it over the back line when you're only 30 yards out. You need a little, that's when you play the ball on the ground, do those interchanges. Hit the longer ones or at least make it more diagonal so the angle isn't so easy for a goalkeeper to approach if Cincinnati's going to have any chance of trying to just dink it in the back line, over the back line.
Hey, soccer fans, Nike is an official sponsor of the USL. For more information, visit NikeSoccer.com. Wiedemann laid it off for GB, who strikes right to Pickens. Savage for Cole. Ball for Cole, cut out. Plenty of time for Walker to choose his options. Lifted up the right side. Koenig heads it ahead to himself and drives the end line. Collins ran in and took it away.
Look at the number of players from Tampa Bay Rowdies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 6 players back versus 2 from Cincinnati.
And now over the top for Morel. Will he be rewarded with his goal? Not yet. He turns. Josu arriving, still pulling at him. Morel surely looked through in the clear, but ran right into the toughest part of the field, and Josu wins it away.
Incredible defensive effort from Josu. Also recovery speed. There are very few defenders that can catch up with Morel. He's so quick. Excellent time run. So much space between that and the back line, but Josu does not give up. Well done by Hildebrandt not to come out diving. Kept his feet. Knew Josu was going to approach. Wonderful job. Not A, giving up the foul, allowing a PK, but B, keeping his feet and able to win possession in the end.
Josu on the ball now for FC Cincinnati, a Barcelona Youth Academy player. Barry, wrong side of Koenig. McCandawary didn't get a great touch. Sub on for FC Cincinnati. Jimmy McLaughlin will come on. Enough for Kadeem Dakers, who was really busy in the first half, but really failed to make an impact in the second.
And Jimmy McLaughlin just brings a different type of player. He sees the game differently, very much finesse, but also has the speed and the pace to get past somebody with power, but then he can also set somebody up with a bit of an unpredictable ball. They need that, because right now it's a bit too predictable in their attack. In Tampa Bay, they have no reason to come out. They need someone that can break down defenses. They're winning 2-0. They can pack numbers in the back and not go forward on the attack.
Well, there is McLaughlin. He'll drive it in himself. Tries to sidestep to Hoyt. Savage met by Walker. McLaughlin becoming well acquainted with the field conditions now. Over an hour of torrential rain in St. Petersburg. That ball had gotten out over the near touchline. Patterson's day is done, and he looks like he's earned a rest.
He had a pretty good day. He was always kind of pushing the back line with his pressure back of Cincinnati, and then was rewarded with his efforts with the goal off of some wonderful footwork from Morel.
Hydration break wasn't exactly in the offing in this second half, but precisely what we'll see while they attend to Patterson. What do you like about what Cincinnati's doing? What needs to change for them to get that first goal and try and mount a comeback?
I like that they're trying to mount a comeback, and you see that with their substitutions, with GB, with McLaughlin coming in. I think you see two players that are able to break down defenses differently than what was being shown from the previous 60-odd minutes. Now for Tampa Bay, they can sit back a little bit, but watch for them to hit quick on the counter, especially with Morel. He is in the flow tonight. He is feeling it. He's able to slice and dice on the ball with his own, as well as with his own a little bit of speed.
And a look at Martin Patterson's big moment in this match in the 39th minute.
This all starts with Morel. He was going to go inside. He just unleashed the shot with his left foot going inside. This time, look at all the numbers. He recognizes that. His head is up. He's able to turn the corner, and a quick little ball to Patterson, and Patterson gets on the inside of his defender and starts the game for Tampa Bay off well with the first goal.
Well, the Bailey does travel. Plenty of visiting FC Cincinnati fans. They weren't going home early. Bit of confusion belongs to Cincinnati. The Queen City has burst onto the national scene. It would be a bit remiss to say that it started with the Open Cup, because of course last year over 35,000 when they took on Crystal Palace, averaged over 16,000 a game at Nippert Stadium, which is really one of the finest football stadiums in the country. Ball for Jones. Hildebrandt came out on the campus of the University of Cincinnati. They've captivated hearts in that town. Cole couldn't draw the foul. In St. Petersburg, there is renewed optimism. There's already a fine stadium to play on at Al Lang. But they've got more in mind for their future, and why not? Oh, when you think you got a feel for it and the ball seems to go straight up, that ball skips a bit too far for King.
But it's more the center into the left-hand side, though. On the right, it's totally untouched. Recall Morgan was mentioning how they just had to resod part of the left-hand corner by the corner flag. So that ground is not stable, and also it might bounce a bit differently. But on that right side, it appears to be slick. The question is, does that change what Tampa Bay does or not? They'll put Darwin Jones in, who's got a bit of speed, so they're going to look to do the release of the pressure by some long balls or some threaded balls. But Hildebrandt for Cincinnati is so good coming off his line, they had to be precise.
Hildebrandt's clearance, not a good one. There's Joe Cole. Joe Cole shooting low. Ball squirts away from Hildebrandt. It's Ristoff with the follow. And again, Hildebrandt makes the save.
The field is wet. The ball is slippery. Hildebrandt is so solid in goal. For him to give up a rebound when he shouldn't, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and say it's the weather. You get to see Joe Cole. Look at just a little pocket of space, and he just unleashed a shot. There's no reason why Hildebrandt would normally give up a rebound in that situation. I'm going to give credit to the slippery ball in that case. Here's Ristoff not able to capitalize on the opportunity on the rebound.
That's what it takes to make a mistake of the 2016 USL Goalkeeper of the Year on the cross. Quinn nodded it back, and it's King. Over the box, headed further. Well, that goes right into Hildebrandt after play had been whistled dead. And it's a clear yellow card to Savage.
Offsides on the initial call by Collins, who was just a little bit slow in getting up with the line from Cincinnati. The ball from King coming in, you can see Collins trying to come back and get something on it. Savage gets a yellow for continuing the play, even though the whistle was blown.
For Savage, yellow card number 4. They can really ill afford have another player out the yellow card suspension. Jonathan Weiner having a tough night. It's been busy. And this is not a fun field to run around. Candawiri. Stays with the Rowdies as Hoyt put his head to the ball. Jones, Portillos. Laughlin taps it over the touchline. Wiedemann looking for McLaughlin. Brought down by Cole. Marcel Schaefer lining it up. He had hit from that distance in the first meeting between the clubs in April. And now Savage. There's Schaefer again. Schaefer creates space, drives the ball at Hildebrandt.
Much better from Hildebrandt, holding on to the ball this time. I think Cincinnati learned the last time they can't give Schaefer that much space. 30 yards, 35 yards and out. After he scored an incredible goal, which he actually attributed to a bit of luck as well. From long distance.
Foul conceded. Mitch Hildebrandt had a look of bewilderment on that really wonder goal right into the Bailey. He said, I've played in front of crowds at Dortmund and silenced the crowd, and there's that beat where you don't hear anything, and then they're right back to it. Not sure many people can say they've quieted both Dortmund and Nippert. Portillos. Walker for GB. Back by McCandawary. Morrell lofted over the top. Last second, Barry knocking it out. Cole nearly had the goalkeeper out of position. Instead, Savage. Wrist off. Oncoming Schaefer. Low driven ball off of Barry. A corner to Tampa Bay. 73rd minute. Down to Morgan Conklin on the touchline.
Mike, the crowd is thinned out a little bit, but the FC Cincinnati fans remain strong. At their home games, they fill up a section called the Bailey, and it's a handful of groups that fill up that section, about 6 or 7, and a handful of them from the different groups have made the trip down to Florida. Some were in attendance for the Orlando City game this past weekend, and they've stayed for the game tonight.
And no fans going home early from that section tonight, no matter how long that lightning delay was going to take. Corner for the Rowdies. McLaughlin, Jones. And there goes McLaughlin springing out of his own half. McLaughlin has earned himself a yellow card.
McLaughlin was one who set up that initial attack, but now he gets beat. Catches the feet, Herstov. That's his first foul of the game. That does not deserve a yellow card.
And that was what he was shouting at Jonathan Weiner, the referee. Aiden Quinn has come off for Cincinnati as they try and make a late surge. Marco Dominguez has come on. His third appearance of the year, 21 in blue and green. Third and final sub. FC Cincinnati. The USL is one of the most prominent second division professional leagues on the planet. It features some of the game's top talent and its rising stars. Stay up to date with all the latest league news and information. Visit USLsoccer.com and follow them on Twitter at USL. And all the latest from Nicholas Murray and the gang over USLsoccer.com. A little disappointed tonight. Cool and the gang was supposed to play after the game, and that lightning storm robbed us of that chance to see them live.
Oh, I'm sure I'm going to hear that being played on your phone on the whole ride home, by the way.
That's right. Dominguez. That's a really classy touch from Wiedemann. Wiedemann finds GB. McLaughlin stepping into it, shooting. Off frame.
With the numbers back from Tampa Bay being so high, it's going to require a bit of interplay, a little bit of fast movement. You can see the ball back, Wiedemann dishing it. GB as well. McLaughlin just gets too much the outside of his foot on that ball, slicing it wide.
Through ball tagged by Koenig. Jones for Cole, crossing the midfield line. Off of Josu. Morel, Cole. Tries the left wing now.
I love that whole build-up play, watching how Joe Cole was moving the ball. He's got over a 90% pass accuracy rate in the opponent's half. But it wasn't only that, it's after he'd play and move, he'd pick up his head, you just watch him, it's on a swivel, and he darted himself into the front line where there's a pocket of space. He wasn't able to get to that ball right there. It's just incredible. Even though they're up 2-0, the captain is leading by example, finding the pockets of space, but also circulating the ball, because if they have the ball, they don't have to defend.
And it was just amazing listening to you and Stu Campbell talk a bit about Joe Cole this week when we spoke to him. As GB back for Walker. Lifted. There's Cole on the ball now. Maybe a bit ahead of his time with the English national team.
He can just keep the ball. Sometimes in the Premier League, and especially in his heyday, in his prime, it was a bit of smash and grab. He wasn't like that. He would definitely be on the team now. And if he was still in his prime, at the way he plays. But just watch him now. He still just has that fire in his belly, but just what he can do on the ball, just reads pressure coming at him from all different angles and just solves it.
Cincinnati trying to avoid a shutout loss. Last falling by way of shutout at Rochester, a game where they did play many of their backups due to squad rotation. Away at a Rochester side that always seems to have their best defensive efforts at home. Meanwhile, for Tampa Bay, their last shutout defensively was against Louisville back on May 13th. Trying to hold on to it here over the last 10 minutes. Well done to play Hoyt. Hoyt stepping by into the box. The shot pops off. Portillos kept alive by Dominguez. His service is in. Walker flick on from Koenig, and Wiedemann had the wires crossed.
You know, Joe Cole put his hands on his knees about 2 minutes after we were singing his praises, and now he's down a little bit. Recall, there was a sizable time delay, and as you get older, I'm not saying that's
what do you know about that?
But when you get older, and then you have, I remember I was 33 and sitting through a 3-hour rain delay at the Olympics, and you had to go on and play again. It is incredibly difficult to then to sustain for another 70 minutes or what have you after a rain delay like that. You can stop and start, but it's not so easy to maintain a high level the older you get.
To be fair, we asked Stu Campbell whether or not he'd be willing to strap the boots on tonight. I'm not sure, given the rain, that he was going to consider it, but they only have 4 available field players tonight.
That's something that all these players, they don't have the luxury of the squad rotation due to injuries and international call-ups like Damian Lowe. So a lot of these players had to log significant minutes despite accumulated fatigue at this point in the season. They don't have the luxury that FC Cincinnati had in subbing almost half their starting lineup from the last game. But this is one of the risks when players play extended minutes after minutes and then add a stoppage time due to weather. You're just a bit more vulnerable to picking up a knock.
Cole on his way off the field. Lowe, Fernandez, Nanchoff, Bowden unavailable. Deshaun Brown just moved on to DC United. So he is now on to different pastures, to be sure. But it was a small roster by design. He felt there were problems with a big roster last year, so they go the other way, and you can't really predict the number of injuries, the number of issues that they've had thus far. Even Justin Chavez is available tonight, but his toe injury still close to being completely healed, but not there. McLaughlin sends the shot. It's just wide of the post.
Ooh, Pickens, the goalkeeper from Tampa Bay, is not happy. McLaughlin has made an immediate impact since he's gone to the game. Whether it's coming in from the right or the left, he's just doing things a little bit differently. GB setting him up. Just didn't have enough angle open to him on the shot. It makes you wonder if Cincinnati had started their usual 11, if this game would be any different.
And some of them a bit out of their control. You look at Delbridge, and he's a guy who picked up a knock last time out against Orlando City B. But even Corbin Bone and Pollock and Boehner, they play so many minutes in such a high impact style of play. As the Rowdies prepare to go to the bench. That's enough for Joe Cole. Martin Vingard will come on late. Cole looks just a bit hobbled on his way off.
Now the midfield from Denmark will come in the waning minutes of the game. Bring a bit of stability, probably hold in a little bit more, and try to secure a shutout.
Cole scoring the second goal in this affair. And the English legend checks out. It does look like he has put a stop to this 8-game all-competition winless streak. At least that's how he leaves it. Whether or not the Rowdies can continue that form the rest of the night remains to be seen. GB thrown away. Vingard clears. Through for Jones. Flag is up. McLaughlin in swinger. There was nobody there. This does seem to have a little bit of the ebb and flow of a rivalry coming together. They played in the Open Cup last year at Al Lang. Cincinnati fell. And then earlier this year, red card, plenty of physical play, 2 physical teams. Through again for Jones. Hildebrand off his line.
Well, it's not just the 2 opponents, it's also the schedule and where you are in the season. Those are all the factors that impact the level and the quality of the game.
Koenig at the back of McCandawary. McCandawary falls down. It's a corner for Cincinnati, created entirely on Koenig's back. Is GB the target man? Walker couldn't get it over the first defender. McLaughlin brought down by Savage. Savage who's playing on a yellow card.
What a great opportunity for Cincinnati to try to get on the scoreboard. Imagine they're going to be looking for GB as the target, so dominant in the air.
There he is. Adjacent to him is Collins. Headed down by Dominguez. On the ground to Jones. Schaefer trying to test Hildebrand. GB does well to hold up play. Couldn't keep it. Through ball. That'll be onside. But Hildebrand out of his box.
It's interesting that no one from Tampa Bay is just holding onto the ball. They're winning 2-0. A lot of the starters are starting to go down to their knees. They're a little bit fatigued. No one's holding onto the ball. Instead, they're trying to shoot, which means it's an instant transition with Hildebrand's ability to punt it long to GB. That's more what I'm expecting to see, or a little bit of passes in the midfield until a pressure.
Yeah, that's more of a Tampa 2 defense in the 88th. Dominguez comes down to McLaughlin. Koenig, the turn by Portillos. On the ground to McLaughlin. Cuts it across the top of the box. GB sliding in. Dominguez. Square ball. Josu keeping, lifting. GB back post. Knocked down by Pickens and cleared away by Collins. Dominguez will try from way out.
GB is always going to be the target with his aerial dominance just taken away from goal. Barely any angle. Matt Pickens gets himself over. Makes a capable save.
Tampa Bay brings on Kyle Porter. And Morrell, a one-man offensive attack for long portions of tonight, is off.
He was one of the few bright spots, I would say, tonight for Tampa Bay, but for just on both sides, he was the generator of most of the offense of the 2 goals.
Four minutes of added time in the second half. Portillos did well tonight in place of Luke Bowden. What's interesting tonight about the Rowdies' defensive performance, because Cincinnati got their chances late, GB in particular, McLaughlin had a good one as well. This is a team without Bowden and without Lowe, and yet with McAndawiri and Portillos in the lineup, they find a way to put it together tonight. GB brings it down for Koenig. No advantage played, and GB is down in a heap.
Yeah, that's a straight-up card for me by McAndawiri.
McAndawiri's 5th start of the year, and that's a 3rd yellow card.
Yeah, that was completely warranted. There was no actual intent to even get the ball, and it wasn't even a professional foul where you're trying to stop the attack. That was just pure malice.
McAndawiri into the book. Walker.
Yeah, the service from Cincinnati has been disappointing on most of the set pieces. They're not getting past that first defender. It's an easy transition or counterattack ball. Very easy for a defender to clear that because you don't have your back turned. You don't have to be chasing it.
And yet you talked with the coach this week. First and second balls.
Well, Tampa Bay, that is something that they were working on. Not so much the first, though. It's the second. Because when they've been vulnerable, it's been through the back on a transition or on corner kicks, getting on that second ball.
That took an odd carom. Over Hoyt. Jones kept it in. Jones around Walker. Crossfield pass for Porter. The Rowdies on the verge of their first win since May 19th at Toronto FC 2. 2 of their wins this year have come at the expense of a team that finds themselves at the bottom of the Eastern Conference standings. This one, very much different. Marcel Schaefer talked about the importance, said we have to win all of our home games. That's the expectation.
You have to win all your home games in the USL and hope to grab a point on the road. It's so competitive. We saw that benefited Cincinnati with a 5-game homestand. Out of their 6 games in the month of June, they won 3, lost 1, and tied 2.
Full time, Tampa Bay, a 2-0 win. The streak is over. Still some talking after the fact, but handshakes as well. The fans who stuck around, this is a worthwhile celebration and a long time in the making. For the Rowdies, it was 8 games winless, and Morgan Conklin is down on the touchline with Joe Cole.
Joe, you scored your 5th goal of the season right before that long delay. What was the message in the locker room?
It's always tough, especially for us senior players, when you have a long break in the play. It was difficult to get going, but we had a great start, and it's hopefully that's the turn of our season. That we're still in 3rd place. We want to climb the table.
I was going to ask you that. First win since May 19th. How does it feel?
Oh, it's great. It's great. It's nervous. You see that we was nervous at times, making some nervous decisions, but overall a good win and the lads worked very hard.
Thanks, Joe. Crowd stayed around for you guys.
Yeah, they've done brilliant for us. You know, we can't thank them enough. We're very well supported.
Thank you. Congrats.
Thank you very much.
Joe Cole with Morgan Conklin. Pickens finally has a shutout. It's been a long time coming as they knock off FC Cincinnati 2-0. This is a fine performance for Tampa Bay, and they desperately needed it.
They did. It's going to be a huge confident boost for them after struggling as of late. But you know what? Some people had some good performances, but wouldn't it be great if Georgie Hirstoff started getting the goals again?
That's right. It's just a matter of time. He wants to see scoring, and so too does Stu Campbell. He stands by with Morgan Conklin on the touchline.
Stu, earlier this week, one of the biggest things going into this game was limiting individual mistakes. What are your thoughts on the guys' performance tonight?
Yeah, I thought it was excellent from start to finish. As you said, we made a few individual mistakes in the past few games, and obviously we've worked really hard to try and cut them out, and we didn't do that tonight, and I thought we played great. Like I said, we've had a lot of games on the road recently, which we spoke about, and we spoke about the importance of being back home in our stadium in front of these great fans, going out and getting 3 points, and we've done that.
And part of your attack, Alex Morel, was on fire tonight. What got into him?
Yeah, no, that's been coming for a little while. We've seen it in flashes. We see it day in, day out in training. It was just getting him to have the confidence and the belief to go and translate that into games. And he's had a decent little run of games lately, which he's thoroughly deserved. And he's getting better and better each game. So long may that continue.
We spoke about the rivalry between these 2 clubs. What is it? Each game, you guys just bring it.
I think it's 2 good teams. I've got to be perfectly honest. The game up in Cincinnati, I thought that was a real high-quality game that finished in a draw. And I thought tonight, we come out on top tonight, but I thought it was a real high-quality game again.
And it was a good one to watch. Thanks, Coach. Congrats.
Thank you.
Thank you, Morgan.
Thank you.
Maybe playoffs we can do this again? Maybe. Tampa Bay, a 2-0 winner over FC Cincinnati. We'll wrap this one up when we come back. The fans who stayed, they got their money's worth. Patterson and Cole, the goal scorers. Rowdies, a 2-0 winner. Full time in Tampa Bay. Time to get your scarf signed by the legend himself, Joe Cole. It's a 2-0 Rowdies win over FC Cincinnati and a hard-earned victory at home after a lengthy winless streak. This is much deserved for this Rowdies team. They've been waiting to get their offense on track. Just 2 goals in the last 4 games. They get 2 right before halftime in a massive lightning storm, then they hold on late.
We'll talk about a huge confident boost for the home side today, and big one for Alex Morel. To see someone come on and be so dominant in the attack, create both chances, is just going to be a huge boon for the whole entire offensive collective confidence.
How about we take a look at our full-time highlights from this affair? And in the first half, things were wide open like we expected, and the Rowdies ended up finding the goal.
Well, they really started out strong and created most of the opportunities. And this is all about Alex Morel. Look at him drawing inside. Too many numbers inside, so he decides to go outside all on his own. And as he does that, he turns his defender and allows Patterson able to find that little pocket of space and beat Hildebrand.
39th minute, and it's his 3rd goal of the season as Morel transversing the edge of the quadrilateral box and playing it atop the 6. Patterson, the 1st goal. We move forward, 44th minute, just 5 minutes later, and lightning strikes again.
Absolutely. On transition, too, Alex Morel, again, pushing, driving. Look at, they try to foul him once, Cincinnati, try to foul him twice. He's too fast for that. Gets that first shot. Hildebrand with a good initial save. But Joe Cole able to follow up on the rebound. I just love how he did not give up and continued with the run. Optimistic that something good would come out of it.
That's goal number 5 of the year, and then Cincinnati tried to mount their charge late, and GB was the focus.
He was. He came in as a sub, and he made an immediate impact, threat in the air every single time when the service was there. But then there were some more opportunities. Again, Joe Cole looking to hit from distance, gives up a bit of a rebound. And here's Stuff, unfortunately unable to get anything on it. Had more time than he thought.
Continuing in the second half of play, Walker ahead to GB. He'd play ahead to McLaughlin, who was a real spark off the bench.
He was a real spark, but unfortunately off target, just real quick footwork and coming in and out of the pockets and trying to set up the rest of his teammates. They needed something dynamic in order to break down this block.
And GB was nearly that dynamic player again.
He was just too far away from goal, barely any angle to turn that around. And a huge win for Tampa Bay.
Well, the fans who stuck around applauded by Joe Pickens, who picks up his first shutout since May 13th against the 2nd place Louisville City FC side. Here are the full-time statistics and a 2-0 win for the Rowdies.
Well, just look at the shots on target. 7. This is partially from the first half. And the possession was pretty even, but look at the number of yellow cards. Very similar to the last time they two faced each other. This is a rivalry that's budding. Lots of fouls, a very contentious, competitive game. And in the end, Tampa Bay rightfully was the team that should have been the victors in this match.
So the Rowdies do get that long-awaited win at home, as this is a game where the Rowdies needed to win. Quite frankly, I think everybody saw this as a must-win game, and Joe Cole already said maybe this is the turning point.
It could be, and that's what every championship team needs. They need to have a little bit of depth, a little bit of luck to avoid injuries, but more importantly, they need to have confidence in their attack and belief that their defense can stop any type of attack that they face. And tonight is one of those nights where they can possibly stick their flag and say this was the turning point for the rest of our season.
On the other side for FC Cincinnati, this is not the result you're looking for, but in the end, you got to feel pretty good about knowing that you go forward and you've got the U.S. Open Cup to look forward to and a lot of games left on the schedule.
Well, absolutely. And also, they didn't start their usual starting 11, but that speaks to the depth. What a great opportunity for some of these players. But imagine if some of the other players were in there, their traditional, right back and their traditional left back. It just would have been a much stronger defensive unit that we're used to playing together, especially because they only have 3 in the back. You got to nail that perfectly. And you could tell there's a little bit of lack of communication and chemistry on that defensive part of the game.
A little bit of lack of chemistry as the team is looking forward to their next home game against the Richmond Kickers. I think probably a pretty good crowd at Nippert to be expected, right?
Absolutely. I'm going to say low 30s. Try to boost the team up again, a little extra morale from loud chants from the fans.
On the other side for Tampa Bay, they look forward to what is a historic rivalry. Orlando City B is next on their schedule July 13th, 7:30 p.m. we move forward to next week's ESPNU Game of the Week. How about San Antonio and Oklahoma City? We move to the Western Conference. We talk about all the parity in the East, but there's a ton of expectation in that Western Conference that San Antonio could be there at the end. A team last year hampered by injuries, but this year a 14-game unbeaten streak, while OKC Energy making some pretty significant marks throughout the year, including a tremendous bicycle kick finish that finished #1 on SC Top 10. So at Al Lang Stadium tonight, the Tampa Bay Rowdies pick up a 2-0 win. Pickens picks up a shutout, and Patterson and Cole are the goal scorers. For director Tom Pirro and producer Abe Aponte, Jonathan Tellicher, Morgan Conklin on the touchline, and Kate Markgraf. Mike Watts saying so long from Tampa Bay, where the Rowdies are 2-goal winners over FC Cincinnati. Good night. I'm looking at you like you're like, I don't know where to go with this, so just take it.